Hey Techno Studs, in this video we're going to take a look at traceroute and see how we can get some valuable information back through this traceroute command. Okay, to do traceroute, what we're going to have to do is pull up a command prompt. So I'm going to hit Windows and type CMD and hit enter to bring up a command prompt. Now, in Linux, I would just type out traceroute and then wherever I'm trying to trace to. And this, in Windows, I'm going to do Tracert instead. And with Tracert, I just type in the address that I want to go to, or in this case, I'll type in Google and let's see what the path is to Google and hit enter. Now, as I'm doing this, what's happening is it's sending out a ping, and it's sending out a ping with a time to live of 1. And then it hits the router, and the router replies back and says, well, you've reached your limit of hop counts, and it took 2 seconds, 2 milliseconds, it's showing 2 milliseconds for that. And then it sends out another ping with a hop count of 1, and it comes back with, and it took 1 millisecond to get back. And then it sent out a third ping, and it's all these times it's trying to hit www.google.com or the IP address of 142.251.33.68. But the time to live is just 1, so it gets sends out 3 of these ping requests, and it gets a reply back from the router 3 times. So now we get generally that we understand it's 1 to 3 milliseconds, which is pretty short to get a reply back. All right, then it sends out a ping with a time to live of 2. And so then it gets to the router sends it off to the internet service provider. The internet service provider responds back and it says, you know, you ran out of hop, you hit your hop limit. And so that took 12 milliseconds to get back. And then my machine sent out another ping, and it took 11 milliseconds to get it back. And then send another ping, and it took 12 milliseconds to get back. So roughly around 11 or 12 milliseconds to get to my internet service provider. Next, we see the next hop. It sent out another reply address, but this time the time to live was 3. And it came back with, now this is, it looks like a Comcast router that's right here. So it goes through this and tests out all of the hops in between and how long it took to get information back from each of these machines. So the whole total round trip is about 17, 16, 15 milliseconds to get to the final destination and get a response back. So most of that time is really just in the first hop. Just for me to get to my internet service provider took most of the time there, and then a little bit of time, it looks like 12, 14, so to this right here, this connection right here. So something with this connection is a little bit slower, it looks like, because that is anywhere from about 12 to 14 milliseconds. Very similar to this one right here, 12 to 14 milliseconds, but the next hop was 16 to 20 milliseconds. So that hop, something about that hop took a little bit more time with it. And then the other piece of information I can get from this, I've got the IP addresses of each of these destinations, and then I get a total number of hops. So there's 12 hops to get to www.google.com, or as we find out here, 142.251.33.68. So there you have it. That's traceroute, and it allows us to map things out and kind of see what our paths are and where our delay is at, which we identified 2 delays right here between hop 1 and 2, and the delay between hop 6 and 7 looks like is the other one. So there you have it. Thanks for watching my video, and use traceroute to help troubleshoot your networks.